Alright, what's up, cool people? Welcome to another game review. This time I'm going to be covering a game called Livelock, which is, it's kind of intended for multiplayer, but only like maybe 2 or 3 players at a given time. Certainly no more than 3, because they only have 3 different options for characters that you can choose from. You've got your Hex here, who's the kind of more gunslinger, shooter, marksman type. You got the Vanguard, who's more like your tanky type. And you've got the Catalyst, who's your support specialist. That pretty much tells you what that means. But you also have 2 different modes. You have open protocol mode, which is kind of like a survival thing. And then you have the campaign mode, which is obviously like kind of the story progression through the game. I'll just go ahead and dive into this mission here. I've done a little bit with this character, but not much. I wanted to pick one that I hadn't leveled up a lot, just to show you some of the unlocks and progression of the game. So, I'm gonna hop into this mission here. Not the first one, because I want to pretty much just give my summary of the story, or at least my understanding of the story. Right. So, before you actually fully get into a mission, you've got this screen here where you can customize stuff. Eventually, you unlock other functions that can also then have modifications to them. You get 1 other weapon in addition to what I have here per character. And then the firmware stuff down here is pretty much just like customization for the look of your robot character. And that's pretty much all that you do on this screen. Or, if you have multiple characters that you've progressed with, you can, from this screen, press Y to change the character type that you're playing as. So, like, if I pick the Vanguard here, then you'll be able to see, I've done a whole lot more with that one. That's the one I've done a full playthrough with, of the story. But, I'm gonna go back to this character. Yeah, so then press X to lock it in, it gives you a countdown and starts the mission. So the setting of this game is, or the broader story of this game is, you are controlling robots, but they're not just robots, they're almost closer to androids, but like,
as the steward of humanity,
not like the ones with skin that you would typically think of. So they're basically just robots with, like, human minds attached to them, or implanted in them. And that's kind of part of the broader story of this game. There's some cataclysmic event that is, I mean, at this point either has happened, or is supposedly, you know, gonna happen within the next so many years. And to help prepare for that, they are testing out the whole putting human minds into robots idea. And you're playing as one of the 3 kind of test subjects. Ooh, okay. Sorry, I had not used that gun before, so I wasn't quite sure how it was going to work. Each character has, you know, a base weapon that should have unlimited usability. With the Vanguard, it pretty much just gives you a strong punch, basically. You know, given that he's the tank type and supposed to be up there, front line, it's kind of the most logical thing, I guess, there. But for this character being more the hunter-shooter type, they give you just a gun with limitless ammo. But there's also secondary weapons that you can go between that will typically be a bit stronger, but have limited ammo. And also as you progress, you can, like, get upgrades, or basically you get kind of little upgrade point things, like that blue stuff I just collected there. You'll collect those, and the more of those you get, the more you can upgrade your weapons. You also get kind of special abilities, which in this game are called functions. Right now for this character I only have one, and that's assigned to the A button. And if I'm remembering right, that function basically lets me lay down a bunch of mines, and yeah. And the enemies could possibly run into those mines and end up getting destroyed that way. Also, you have a dodge ability. Movement and aiming are with separate sticks, so you don't have to aim where you're moving, basically. Oh, hello. That seems different. I don't remember finding that before. Sometimes you can find kind of hidden pathways throughout the game. Or maybe I did do that before and it's just been so long since I've done this mission that I didn't remember that. Oh yeah, that's literally the way it's telling me to go. So yeah, duh. Other stuff about this game, it is rated teen by the ESRB, I guess mostly because of violence. I don't recall there being much, if any, foul language in here. If there is, it's not like the worst of the worst words. Ooh, hey, yeah. Okay, so occasionally you get these things called overclocks that gives a temporary boost to your character. And unsurprisingly, the one that kind of matches the initial color of your character is the one that goes best with that character. So like the purple one gave additional fire rate, and I think it was critical chance. Given that this guy is mostly a shooting type, that works really well for him. The Vanguard benefits a lot more from the orange type here. I mean, the invulnerability is still nice no matter what. But it's even better for him because it also increases melee damage. So his, like, you know, punching things just gets that much stronger. And technically, I think with any of the characters, you do have a melee option. It's just not as strong with the ones that aren't the Vanguard. Okay, there's a thing here. Oh. Yeah. I'm gonna wait before I interact with that. Okay. It says I have destroyed all the enemies.
Intellect.
Doesn't work, intellect. You have located the hulking hound.
Deploy the node servitor.
Deploy the node servitor to... Okay.
Let's get you back to your feet.
I will say, kind of story-wise, I mean, this game has some story to it. It's not terrible on that front. I do wish they took a little more time to get into, like, the personalities of the characters you can play as. They really don't seem to do much of that until, like, close to the end of the game. Alright, where are the enemies, and where are they going to be coming from? Here are some. But if those are all long-range enemies, they might not be so inclined to walk into the mines I just deployed. So yeah, technically I have a melee option there. But that's not going to do much damage to the stronger enemies in this game. Good grief. Now would be a great time to get an overclock, but this game doesn't always work like that. So yeah, story-wise, the game's kind of meh. In terms of, like, overall presentation, it's not too bad. Like, graphics aren't terrible. They're not top of the line by any means. But they're also, like, again, not terrible either. Yeah. Occasionally you run into some enemies that are a lot tougher. Ouch. Yeah. I'm just gonna roll around for a bit. Give myself a chance to heal. Come on. I was hoping, since this gun deals more damage, that I'd be able to get rid of the main guy a bit quicker there. Meanwhile, the hulking hound has been taking all kinds of damage, but apparently it has tons of health anyway. So that doesn't really matter.
Well done, intellect.
Oh, hey.
Return to the outpost.
I unlocked an alloy, which is one of those, like, kind of visual customizations that you can make. So the alloys are going to be, like, different colors to your robot. You also get, like, different headpieces that you can unlock, and then you've got different, like, colors. No, the alloys are the color schemes. You can also add, like, different cape options to your characters. Okay, so right there I just unlocked something or another. I'm not quite sure what that is. That might actually just be a general upgrade for the robot type, or the character type, whatever, as a whole. Now here's where you would think you might want to just press A, but if you do that, that just immediately moves you on to the next mission. If you want to go back to, like, you know, upgrade your weapons or change out the functions or do anything like that, you have to press B to back out to the lobby. Okay, so armor penetration was the other function that I just got there. Increase fire rate while weapon projectiles penetrate through enemies and some shields in a straight line. Increase fire rate while... Okay. So, using that function increases your fire rate and also gives your shots like armor penetration. Okay. Gotcha. So yeah, you can collect some of those upgrade point things, use them on the weapons here. Don't have enough to upgrade both, unfortunately. Go down here to the firmware. And there's the new alloy I got. That's interesting. Very not purple, but I kind of like it. But, yeah, otherwise, let me just double check the kind of game card or whatever for this. Okay, fantasy, violence, and mild language are why it's rated teen. I can't even remember much of the language that was in there. Still, like, as a general rule of thumb, I still say default to the ESRB rating. But because of that language, depending on how strict you are with that, you might want to even avoid it entirely for any children. Just because of that. But yeah, it's not like it gets bloody at all because it's all robots involved in the combat and all the violence and whatever. So, like, the worst you find is a bunch of metal scraps getting thrown all over the place. No blood, no gore, nothing like that. But yeah, I kind of like the game. It definitely could use some improvements, though. If I were going to rate this on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd maybe give it somewhere in the realm of a 6. Maybe, 6 feels about right. It's, like, I kind of like it. It's a bit more than meh for me, but it's not very far into the realm of good, in my opinion. But, yeah. So that pretty much gives you an idea of Livelock and how it plays, what all it entails. I didn't get too much into the details of the story just because, like, there isn't too much more you need to know other than the general summary. So yeah, I guess that's all I got for you in terms of any kind of, like, review of Livelock. Alright, one last thing I should probably mention regarding a review of Livelock is the price that you'll probably find it at. On the Xbox Game Store, it looks to be $10 as, you know, at the time of recording. So that seems like a fairly reasonable price to pay for a game like this. I mean, I can't say exactly how many hours the campaign took me, but, I mean, it was usually somewhere in the, like, 10 to 20 minute range, usually hovering closer to, like, 15, maybe even, like, 11 or 12 minutes, but, and then there's, like, probably roughly 20 missions or so. So, like, you're just from one straight playthrough of the campaign, you're probably getting a good handful of hours out of that. And then there's the survival mode. There's also playing through it with all 3 characters, and or, you know, doing multiplayer with it. So yeah, there's a fair bit of stuff in there for $10. Otherwise, that is going to wrap things up for my review of Livelock. So, as always, like and share if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel. Click the bell if you're on YouTube to get updates when I post new videos. Look down in the description to get info on other social media pages and all that good stuff. And leave comments down below there with any thoughts you have, games you'd like me to play and or review, any other thoughts for video ideas, whatever you have for me. Let me know down below. So that's it for now. Hope you're all doing well. Hopefully I'll see you for the next video. But until then, stay cool, people.